Well, it's hard to get more pointless than this. I mean, I probably wouldn't even have to show you any gameplay to prove how bad of an idea this game is. Top Trumps. On the PS2. Does anyone even remember Top Trumps? You know, back in the day, I loved Top Trumps. You know, any show or movie that I liked, I'd buy the Top Trumps pack. I loved looking through the characters and the pictures. It was like a mini encyclopedia of your favourite show. But that was it. The game of Top Trumps itself is terrible. It's all about luck. You pick an attribute on your card, hope that the number is higher than your opponent's, the winner takes both cards, and then you repeat the process until all the cards are gone. This shit certainly ain't no Magic the Gathering. And if you can believe it, the PS2 version is even worse. They have the cheek to only include 2 decks in the game. 2! Bear in mind, when this game was released, I'd see it in GameStop for like €30. You could buy 5 or 6 decks of Top Trumps for that. And then the 2 decks that they give you in the game are Horror and Predators. Well, that shit certainly ain't no Simpsons. Like, who would want to buy this? Oh, yeah. Let me also point out that this game is called Top Trumps Adventures, but there's no adventure or anything even resembling a story in the game, so why call it that? It's just lies! Then on the cover you have these lifeless, malnourished children waving at you. I mean, if I saw that thing waving at me, I'd probably give him some spare change, not be enticed to join him on an adventure. The only adventure this jaundiced little fucker ever had was escaping a concentration camp. So, the game starts us off with the most bizarre language select screen I've ever seen. For each language, it gives you information on the country that the language is spoken in, and also plays the country's national anthem. It's one of the most unnecessary features I've ever seen. Not only that, but this whole system is useless anyway. I mean, let's say you're French. You're going to come to the screen and then, Sacre bleu! What's all of this English? I'm so sorry to any French person who is horribly offended, by the way. My point is that it's a fucking useless screen to anybody who doesn't speak English because they can't understand anything on it. The main menu drops and we're treated to the most 90s sounding generic hip hop track that only your deaf grandparents might mistake for sounding cool. And then the game's miserable attempts at appealing to young people get even worse when we get to a character select screen. Now, why there's a character select screen in a fucking card game with no story is one thing, but this just looks like someone's cracked head. You have this spaced out meth head rocking back and forth like a fucking psychopath. I mean, look at her! She doesn't blink! She just stares! Then this junkie is just OD'd on his bed, probably off a shot of heroin. Jesus, pick your poison, eh? Hey, you got any of those Top Trumps, man? So, there really isn't much to talk about with the gameplay. I mean, it's just Top Trumps. But even more shit, because you're constantly reminded you're playing this shit. Some of the cards are interesting, I suppose, but oddly, there's even less detail on them than their physical counterparts. Normally, Top Trump cards have a little description, but here they just get rid of it. You can't even enjoy the cards in this shitty game. Honestly, this was my first time ever even playing the game, and I didn't lose a single card in the match, and won the game before even the 3-minute clock ran out. What the fuck? Like, what's this game even for? Well, I'll play the other deck, I guess. In this match, I actually ended up losing 1 or 2 cards to the computer, and all that happened was I realised just how stupid the computer AI is. It picks the length of a scorpion to go against what ends up being a shark. I mean, the scorpion has one of the worst length stats in the entire deck, so why the fuck would you pick that one? It also picks the speed of an alligator instead of picking something like its weight. Why? Like, the AI has just intentionally been stupid. And that's pretty much the entire game. The only other thing is this really weird quiz thing that you can take. King Kong is enormous, a bit smelly, in search of a really big toilet. What? The Sphinx is a tourist trap, an evil haunted statue, or very bored with only desert to stare at. The Wolfman is half man, half biscuit. What the fuck is this fucking shit? This game thankfully ended up being a fucking disaster. They had the gall to name it Volume 1 as well, as if whoever came up with the idea thought that they'd get away with making even more of these. They did release a Volume 2 that featured dogs and dinosaurs. Boy, that'll get those wallets lighter. They couldn't have made this thing less appealing if they tried. It's one of the most obvious cash grabs I've ever seen, just shoveled out by some hack publisher. What? You know, I haven't physically destroyed a game in a while.
Support Tenants on Patreon! You can now enable Tenants' inevitable road to suicide with your hard-earned money.